Let's bring in District Media Group President Beverly Hallberg and independent journalist Brittany Hopper. Thank you both for coming on. Kellyanne Conway had the following to say. Watch.
I would say this to the mainstream media. Kamala Harris is ignoring you because she thinks she already has you. She thinks the mainstream media is already in her thrall and her corner.
Yeah, and that's code for the media really did side with them, Beverly Hallberg.
Yeah, and I actually think this is a smart strategy by Kamala Harris because whenever she gets off teleprompter, she's actually quite terrible. There is one person who's been a worse communicator in this administration than Joe Biden. It's actually been Kamala Harris, and people know that. And so the media, who are many of them who are hoping that she does well, are staying away from their questions. But after a while, the American people see through this. They do want to hear from somebody who is running for office, especially somebody who is not in the primary. She has agreed to one presidential debate. I think people are very excited. I think it'll be one of the most watched debates in our lifetimes, maybe in history. And she is going to have to answer questions eventually.
Yeah, eventually. The Wall Street Journal editorial board said this: Kamala Harris, mystery commander-in-chief. Kamala Harris is all but telling Americans they'll have to elect her to find out what she really believes, as the vice president ducks interviews and the media give her a free ride. Americans shouldn't have to read tea leaves to figure out if Miss Harris would keep the country safe in a treacherous world. I mean, you would think that we are owed some answers. She didn't get any votes. Maybe she gives up some answers. I'm sorry, Brittany.
Oh, yeah, Trace, we're not going to get those answers anytime soon. I think that this is all being done on purpose and strategically done. And it is exactly what she had just said, that this is for Kamala, because I don't even understand what she says. When she speaks, it's like a bunch of word salad, and I'm left, huh? And I think a lot of other people are left with, what? And so during the debate, I think a lot of people are going to actually end up playing drinking games, because it's just going to be one of those nights where we're all going to just be like, what is going on? But I do think, going back to the left-wing mainstream media, look, I was on it for 18 years. I know for a fact what they're doing, and they are doing this on purpose to make her look better. And it can never be as biased as it is as what we're seeing right now. And it's infuriating as it is. It's kind of comical as well, because this is getting ridiculous, and the American people should really be asking questions.
Yeah, but it's deliberate. It really is. And I mean, it's funny because Kamala Harris had that pattern where if you ask her a question, she will repeat the question, trying to buy some time, and then she kind of goes on from there. Beverly Hallberg, to you, back again. Joe Rogan on the gaslighting. He said this.
Yeah, no, we're definitely being gaslit. That's the problem with, like, fact checkers. Some of these fact checkers are completely full of shit. Like, you're just trying to debunk something, especially now when there's all this scrutiny being paid attention to what this guy's done.
And the fact checkers always happen to be on the left, Beverly Hallberg, and it's kind of unclear why.
We're at a point where even the fact checkers we can't trust. Now, look, the faith in the media institution was an all-time low before 2024. But when they told us that Joe Biden was running circles around his campaign, that all of a sudden Kamala Harris is now this amazing vice president and now this amazing candidate, people see the gaslighting for what it is. And here is what I fear, is that as we see how we're being lied to, how are people going to actually trust the election process? Democrats talk about preserving democracy. But when you destroy our institutions and our faith in them at every level, how are people going to trust anything on Election Day? And I think that's something that we're going to be concerned about as we get to November 5th.
Yeah, you got to believe that media trust is at an all-time low. One more look at CNN's Breonna Keeler. Just watch it. I mean, it's dishonest. Here's what she said.
He was a public affairs specialist, someone who did not see combat, which certainly the title combat correspondent kind of gives you a different impression. So he may be the imperfect messenger on that.
So the goal here, Brittany, is that, you know, they're going after Tim Walz, so we're going to change the narrative and we're going to come up with anything. And there's a reason that J.D. Vance was so upset by this, because it's dishonest. It is just gaslighting.
Oh, I love that word, gaslighting. I have my master's degree in clinical psychology. But look, you know, this is what the left-wing media does. This is they stick to their narrative. They stick to their agenda. CBS News just had a headline the other day saying that the GOP is mad that Tim Walz put tampons in school bathrooms. They left out a huge word there, boys' bathrooms. So they are all doing this on purpose. And, you know, this is the biggest problem, is that the American people are being lied to. And it's the narrative, it's the agenda that they are being told. And unfortunately, with my master's degree, it doesn't take a psychologist to tell people, if you keep telling folks the same story, one side, people are going to believe it. And this is the biggest threat we have right now in America.
Brittany Hopper, Beverly Hallberg, thank you both. Well, 19 days and counting since